It's currently 4/8/25, roughly 04/24. Kind of like the other video I made about why the Bible says, or people ask, why do my children, or the Bible say the children die or whatever. And I was saying, like, all right, you say the Bible is wrong, right? But you let people party. My bad, you party while kids around the world suffer and die, and they live for long periods of time, like years sometimes, and then might die from malnutrition or whatever the case, from not getting proper medical treatment. I mean, exactly, or just in their environment, and then again medical treatment. But exactly, some of them live in 10 huts with like no water. I walk 10 miles a day to get water, and that's only if like exactly. So you figure that part out. No running water. So they're dying and going through this right now. But you're saying the Bible, at least the Bible says, right there, kill them. Then hopefully reincarnation but you're creating the whole purpose of doing that is you're eliminating negative chi from wherever you are right now. It'll be, I guess, Great Mother or planet Earth, but wherever you would go as laws of attraction. So by doing that, you're helping them to reincarnate, if they do reincarnate to that frequency. If not, I mean, who knows? Like I said, like, because everything happens is different multiverse, and the source and all that created exactly the plan or formula. So you're seeing this, letting that happen, but that's still creating a problem. Exactly, ripple effects is all tight. Exactly, reality changes or whatever. So that's how you get in the multiverse. Now you got even a way even deeper science. Deeper, so like, it's like, oh, as I said, it's ever infinite possibilities, infinite changes. So I say the rules may change, but I say on top of different realities, but still different realities and how it may operate, how it functions exactly. But as I said, we can reason on YouTube. See, look at this deep mind when they're able to reason. I haven't even read in like years, but either way, see, and on top of the type of minds are being destroyed. Or herb, if you're gonna do it, then let it reincarnate. But I would say, like, the better thing is take care of the young boys. But oh man. But this is what I kind of say. This is why people ask like today, like, or the modern day, why my children had to suffer is like because you're doing things that are hindering those who likely would have fought for the next generation. So it's not like not like a Tifford, but like I'm like the multiverse. All right, so you're doing all this stuff right now. Who's taking care of the government and making sure everything is doing what's supposed to be done? I know you have hired people to do it, but who's like really involved with it? Who has children in their communities and seeing what's going on and staying in focus with that? So nobody's still right there. That's the reality or the environment, whatever, or the world, the situation in which the next generation are going to inherit. If you're just making laws, you don't understand what's going on, or voting people, you don't understand what's going on, and staying in tune after voting, not just voting and sitting back down like nothing happened. Like I said, I haven't voted since 2008. When I realized that exactly, I didn't vote yet exactly. I realized how Congress operated. There's no point in me voting unless I don't have energy for it. At that point, I was ironically trying to attempt to establish my future. 2008, I was roughly 22, 23. Yeah, 23 years in November, so yeah. Or 28, yeah, 23. So I realized at that point, like, I had to work to get to it, but I understand I don't have the energy maybe later on. I'm still 23, so I'm a young boy. Now I'm like 39, and I realized like there's no point in even voting because people don't even care about what they're doing. So now I understand the young boy, the young me, sees that view and started, all right, I'm gonna wait till I get older. But now I'm older and seeing it wasn't, a lot of times it wasn't even Congress, it's the people not staying focused on what they're hype about or voting for or pushing for or protesting for. Like they don't even, like, they vote and then go back, sit back home. It's like then so yeah, after the term is over, they'll, so-and-so did. No, so-and-so didn't do anything. It's still a battle once you get in there. You still have to get in there. But the people, on top of it, you have those who are in there who are also voted in their midterms, and every 2 years are voted in there. So you're also voting for that. So you have to stay focused on top of that. But on top of that, as a voter and citizen in general, you have to stay active in your community and what you're doing. You organize, right? Or you only organize when it's time to get what you want. All right, but you still have you can still have organized. That's the whole point of organizations. You don't. That's why I realized when I was going to my neighborhood meetings, neighborhood watch meetings. Like it's not. It wasn't really exactly to be at all the meetings unless you knew it was like approaching the time where you were going to meet with the Congress. But like, during the time, like if you had people still was there, you would be able to, like if I was exactly, you submit evidence by being involved with your community. So when they go complain to the cop, like you have video, audio, video, pictures or whatnot, date and times with audio and video. Yeah, if you don't have the desire, exactly. So now you have the location. Now when you go, all right, we have all this evidence. This is unclear. This is the neighborhood. It's not like around the whole city. This is our neighborhood. So this is the information. Here's all the evidence. Like this is like 1 week. So you can imagine, since there's no presence there, exactly. Since there's no presence there, it's able to happen, and it's like it becoming. Like I said, I found drug needles on the ground. Like it would never happen, especially when we were kids walking around there. Like you would never find drug. I mean, you see, like they say, you saw like a car back there. 2 seconds later, it's like, oh shit. So that gum blast. That gum blast. Whatchamacallit, Clover. Was it Clover's? Yeah, it was Clover's or whatever store, or Acme or whatever. Exactly. Whatever it's called. Yeah, it was Acme. But yeah, exactly. But they're going to her or investigate whoever's parked back there before the train station and all that. Exactly. So you're like, oh, God bless. But now you go around there, I call it a suburban ghetto. But this is a prime example of people not being involved with the community and leaving this same community to their children tomorrow. Because the children are not going to have this, are going to have the reality or in the same economy or whatever, government, as you're now creating tomorrow. It may be worse or maybe hopefully better, but they're now doing things in which people who were supposed to be in charge weren't doing. And on top of it, the parents weren't involved to make sure they were doing it because you're voting. So in the reality, you can't just say, I voted for them. Like, well, did you go to the meetings and stay on top of them the 4 years? Like 4 years. Sometimes 8 years. So you have that time, you still have to stay active too as a parent. You can't just keep asking or acting as though that you voted, so that's the only. No, you voted, so now you have to stay active in your community. You have to stay community watch, go to local meetings at least. Damn, once every month and a half or a year, so however long you talk to you. I mean, it depends. Yeah, everybody depends on. Like I know my community, like it was hard. Like the city is like a lot of people in that one district alone. So you can't really be hype about, or you're not able to be hype about your own personal situations. You have to be open that it's other people in this real problem. Like the city is crazy. Like some people losing family members, some people is that no school education, no proper education or the proper supplies for education, or BS lunches or whatever. So kids don't even feel like. So yeah, but let's see, is the myriad, and then you have the budget. So it's not the same as you have in the county where it's more chill. But right there, that's where the parents had to be more involved and more in tune, because like you can make programs yourself. You know, like I'm not draining the system. The system. You can even use that. We'll put that on your tax. I'm involved with my community. I donate. But that, like I said, you can fund or protect yourself by making your own bank accounts for yourselves and put money in. At least exactly. But the more people, the better. So I said. But yeah, it's got somebody trustworthy. But these are the things in which are not being put in place for the children. Had the elders, like, or any community, put like, they have a nice number, have been putting at least whatever money they would put, that community would be thriving right now, or at least have money for the situations that are approaching. So do it today, your kids will have it tomorrow, but see, it wasn't done yesterday. So now the kids are like, I'm not gonna make it. So now they're looking like, oh man, that's an exhausting vibe. Exactly. They feel depressed. I say the age of mental health is becoming a mental problem for the young boys growing up here. They have no future right now because it's like kind of the AI. You kind of need it's like certain things that humans don't want to do, and not able to do, and like on top of it, the intelligence of the being is being whatever you want to call it. That's what I said. It's intelligence. How do you say it? Unless you talk about the source, then yeah. But exactly, it helps to humans. I understand the part about getting out of control and want to take, we're not getting too overhyped about the equations and whatnot, and when they take over, then it might have an equation where it's C and it's F, but also it's a small one exactly, but then see, it may not, because of that override switch or whatever, and planet not able to let it go and not let that small 1% chance or one chance even have the option. Yeah. But either way, this is the reality in which children are going to face tomorrow, because parents and governments or whatever aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, supposed to do after voting and doing whatever is required to make sure that who they voted for and the policies or whatever, know the policies are being done properly, or even know exactly a study to see how it's going to affect the short term, maybe even long term, so they know not to be hype about the first the beginning and see what will happen. But if you have the facts then you can argue it. But if you're just panicking because you don't understand what's going on and how it's supposed to operate, then that's a personal issue. You can't, not able to really blame the person that is doing it or those that are doing it, because they're kind of doing their job. Because if not doing it, if you avoid it today for your comfort, tomorrow your children may suffer. So exactly about the young boys, right? Because sex change. What? Exactly. So these are the things they're crying about the children. So it's about the children. So the children have to have a future. So you have to make sure they have a future and have things or the resources in place. So when they need to pull from them, they're already there. They don't have to go to the government every 2 seconds. My other video, at least when it comes to blacks, you have 39 million blacks in the country. $1 a month, a week, 50 cents, maybe, I don't know. And you put that into your own personal bank. That's 39 million every time. Do that for a decade or two, you're funding yourself. You don't even have to go to the government for anything. That's why I said, had that been in place and been active, what is the complaint? 39 million a month, let's say, times 12 times 10. That's a decade's worth of me funding myself. Hello, government. I have my own reasons. I was like the reason. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm able to reason with my resources. 39 is running the God's creator. Right? I hope we upload the video. But either way, that's what I talked about. Like you can basically fund yourself out of your own oppression or recession, drought. It's like, it's so easy. $1 a week, $1 a month. $1 a week, 50 cents a week. Yeah, give me two exactly. 75 cents. But either way, if you were to do that for a decade, look how much money you just put in your own pocket, like, or whoever. But this is what I say, it's better to have more. But you got, only issue is who's going to look after the resources. That's why it says Deuteronomy 1:1-10, choose people from among your community who are righteous and known for having this ability to do what has to be done. And they're gonna make their righteous decisions. Because when this is, yeah, that was Moses, they got, how you did it? All right, you do these matters. You is that from among your tribes, from among your righteous people who not experienced, whatever, etc. Exactly, whatever it requires. See, righteous, because they have to be able to maintain this job. Exactly. So I want to hear, all right, well, you chosen. You said, let's go ahead. So now you get to see exactly. That's Deuteronomy 1:1-2. Exactly. So now but the higher matters, since Moses, exactly, he was the one that gave it, it will come to him. Or Aaron, exactly. Or yeah, probably go to Aaron, and Aaron will bring it back to Moses. So that's it, exactly. The people, see? Wow. Yeah, exactly. So they would be able to reason and order in a sense, so that way he's not burnt out from doing everybody exactly. But then they had to, but see, the law was, you see, that's what, that wasn't like personal, like, oh yeah, you should do, no, the law said, but say if it was the error was, if it was the error, not understanding that part of the law, then they go to Moses. That's why the priests, well, Moses is Levi, know the law. Everybody's gonna see that's the burden of being a Levite or Evite. The priest class, while I walked away from it because they saw their brethren, the other 11 tribes, and even more, Joseph's children, having their inheritance. I mean, they had I guess a clause in place that every third year you give a third of your earnings for the widow, the fatherless, the orphan, and for the priest that he may have for the next 3 years. But he's not supposed to overdo it. He's just keeping the law or memorizing. So when something happened, that's what then he goes to, then whoever the judge or the council, you bring the priest. Well, the law states, sorry, I've been up like 2 or 3 weeks from the because the law is actually, back in the day especially, you talking about like no TV, horses, and living in caves, some, and still living in their tents, to building houses, and either way, damn. So they had to go back and memorize. That's what it says in the Chronicles or whatever, or Kings, where it says Darius, when the board one night, he had one of his servants or whomever read the King's archives or what. That was exactly as I say. What did you do back in the day when you were bored? You didn't have TV, so like that's like his own personal like readings, but have somebody read for you, like a bedtime story. Oh, who's Israel? Oh yeah, he found, by doing so, I guess it was a nightly thing. He found a clause that those who I guess the Artaxerxes or whomever put a clause in there that the Israelites at a certain period of time may return back to the land, and exactly. And he read that and like, oh shoot. I guess, you see, he's like, oh, I'm around here anyway. Let him go. Everybody sleep. Yeah, that's supposed to. Anyways, that's what happened. God bless. But exactly, that's just happened while he was happened to be going to sleep, and probably woke him up and made sure to mark that down and went back to sleep or whatever. But that's what, by doing such things, you're able to maintain your environment, or by doing is stay on top of your job and with your requirements for your children. So you're making sure that, see, exactly, it actually probably created less strife in the community. Hey, we made a deal with so and so. Anyway, well, I'm not so and so. Had he not been righteous, or at least down the middle, then they would never have got free or been set free, or let it go back to their own kingdom and rebuild their land. But see, that's one of the, he was a king though, so he wasn't just reading like deadly funny. He was reading like, see, the things that are relate to his job or his position, which is, that was decrees, or see, the King's archives. It's not simple or pointlessness. It's like he's still sleeping but going to sleep reading. So even somebody is like, when somebody play like a little headset while you're sleeping, and you're still programming your brain while you're sleeping. So it's like he's reading that while he's going to sleep, and then probably even like 5 or 10 minutes into sleep, make sure I keep reading for about 10 minutes. When I wake up, do this all over again. And then call somebody else, and just get at that minute here it says yes. Yes, just make sure. Exactly. Yes, yeah, exactly. But anyway. But either way, exactly, to maintain the order in the land, they had to make sure that they did their jobs, even when the job is boring. That's why Socrates says nobody wants to, like, you have to want to do it, but then you don't want to do it. But that's the best fit for the job. This is exhausting. This is very exhausting. If I'm not going to benefit from it, it's like, it's not really too fun anymore. Those who benefit from it having a ball, but those who actually do the job are exhausted and don't really want to do it no more in some cases. But no, they have to. As he said, somebody worse may become, or not fit for the job, may take over, and then I have to sit here and endure through it. So, yeah. Return to the side of candor, but that's what I say. They say, why do my children have to suffer? It's like, well, if you don't do what you have to do, then your children are going to suffer or die, maybe, because they're not going to have the proper. Right now, they're trying to figure out how to keep Social Security in line. That's aid for those who are broke, but you understand, it's not really supposed to be guaranteed. People are supposed to be prosperous and at least take care of themselves to a certain degree, not have to rely on government as though they're your parents. That's my other video, government like a parent. So that's a different thought, how you follow what they say, and they're supposed to be adults, and they're supposed to make sure as though everything is going good for the people. Yeah, there it was. Making sure as a government that they're doing their jobs and making sure people are getting what they need. And like I said, certain situations are supposed to be addressed while people even have to protest. Once it's being made aware of the government or Congress, then certain topics must be addressed, mandatory. So humans are getting mad. I'm like, well, hopefully you involved with your children. If you're going out this summer, it would be like, it's like camping or something, like preparation. The scriptures say at least 7 days a week dwell in booths. The booth. So you see, or go camping basically in tents. Yeah, there you go. Booths, tents, and booths, or tents with S. Or tents, exactly. So you're doing that but basically if you're doing it, you're training the mind, then you go on vacation. Like, it's like, all right, they kind of humbling your children so they're not wanting to party. So these times are coming up, you'll be prepared for the slowness, maybe. Like I say, I've been doing this for over 10 years, so sitting still and doing nothing, it's not really a big deal. My thing is, like, I would play like the old ass Madden, or the old behind Madden 64, because it doesn't have the cellular communications. Plus it's like it's owner's mode. So I will play that, or I have my Nintendo. Man, I don't really play new games, but you just have to have things, or or work out, myriad of things you're able to do, but you're staying active in the situation. So like I said, for over 10 years I've been doing this. Like back when I had my my dog or whatever, we would walk. That's probably why I walk so much. Like I would just walk around the neighborhood, let him do his thing while I'm either playing music or thinking about something I just read or elevated. So that's what I would do. But I'm not going out. Everybody going out on the weekends. That's what I would do. I'm like 25. Man, you wanna go out? No, not really. And I would read and do such things. Exactly. So that's why I did say active, and make sure that when I wasn't doing anything, I was keeping myself busy by doing activities, so my brain wouldn't get bored from just sitting there doing nothing. Like at times I had no choice, like either injuries or whatever the case. I had no choice but to sit still. So you had to, on top of that, like just being around doing the same activities eventually get boring. You don't want to do it. Like your brain, like certain TV shows I couldn't watch after like a month or two. So I had to start finding things that I can do, and reading was one of them that could keep me active, or watching videos that makes it, or like watching. Exactly, I'm not just watching ignorance. It's cool to watch it for like a quick little laugh, I guess, but watching things that matter, I mean, watching programming that matters or elevates you, that's what I use most of the time for it. So funny. That's crazy. Alright, just get a little bit too much. Let me go back. Exactly, and reprogram. Yeah, exactly. Very crazy. But yeah, there it is. The reality you're creating is the reality in which your kids are going to inherit. That's why a lot of children are going to suffer, because it's not being done today. So hopefully, the previous president stated that there's going to be situations, seeing it's getting harder and harder. Had it been addressed at that point in time, exactly, it would have been slowed up at this point in time. That was almost 10 years ago, or if not 10 years ago. Well, the last year, exactly. I'm not able to find out. That was my personal, but either way, well, it had to be said. And still, I made the post on Facebook, 2-minute warning and such, exactly. That was the last year. But had it been started, at least say it fumbled for those 8 years or 7 years, active at that point to this point, That's 10 years of not of starting up right now, where you're kind of in a deeper hole than where you would have started back at that moment, and now still talking about the even worse problems and having the same issues. Return to again. Thank you.